Component 3, we have to monitor and assess our students' abilities toward meeting the goals that we're teaching in our lesson. We have to understand where they're at toward the goals. That's just part of being a good teacher. And if you've read your national board standards for your area, especially the assessment standard, wink, wink, that was like a really big bad wink. But anyway, if you have read it, that's great. If you're like, ooh, Tracey's reminding me, I need to go back and reread it, go back and reread it. Super important. It talks about the things that we're about to talk about today. So what I've put up here is your written commentary for component 3. We're down at bullets 4 and 5, where we are really looking at this idea of monitoring and assessing student progress during your lesson. It should be obvious inside of your videos that you are doing some type of monitoring and assessing. It happens clearly through questioning. Sometimes teachers have exit tickets or some type of formative in their videos, not always, but sometimes that's in there and it's super obvious. Sometimes it's just part of the feedback that the teacher is actually giving to the students, or that the teacher's getting back from the students about what they know and don't know toward these goals. So how did the monitoring and assessment that you were doing with your questions, your observations, whatever you were doing, how did that influence your decision-making during the instruction? So you should be able to say, when Johnny, or student in blue, said ... it made me realize he couldn't subtract because he didn't even know what a number line was. Therefore, you see me get a number line and begin to show him how number lines run from left to right. So those moments in the video that we always say as candidate support providers to you, we're like, hey, this doesn't have to be perfect. The kids all don't have to have the right answers and they don't have to be doing things the right way. This is one of those areas where if you're able to see your students for the misconceptions or the struggles they may be bringing toward the goals, if you're able to see that your students are getting it and bored and you need to move them on, we want you to break it down for us as if we have no earthly idea what you're doing and why you're doing it. We want you to break this down for us and tell us, here's the decisions I'm making, and this is why. And this is how. The whys and the hows are analytical in the writing process for the national board. So how was student feedback provided, and what was your rationale for providing it in this manner? Some teachers put sticky notes on students' desks. Some teachers have, give students just formal feedback that they can see. Some teachers give an exit ticket when the video is over, and then they give feedback on that. Some teachers do a whole nother lesson to help review because there were so many students that needed it. So you have to know, how did you give student feedback? Again, where do you need to go look about feedback? Go to the National Board Standard for Assessment in your area. I promise you, just go over there and read it again. They tell you what this looks like. It's pretty cool. The red question, which is question number 5, to what extent did you achieve the lesson's goal or goals? Provide evidence from the video recording to support your answer. What were your next steps with these students as a result? So now when we think about, like, you're probably saying to me in the last question, Tracey, but do I need to provide examples of myself giving feedback or monitoring and assessing in the video? No, it doesn't specifically ask for that. If you have them, that's great, because you think like a lawyer, you claim something, you give evidence. Woohoo! That's awesome. That's one of those chicken winner dinners, right? That's what we want. We want as much evidence to a claim as you can give us. So providing evidence, though, of the extent of students achieving your lesson goal or goals is mandatory. You have to do that. So we should see your students engaged with the goals. Some will be achieving them at a very high level. Maybe all of them. That would be great if they all are. Some will not be achieving them at all, possibly. You've got to then say to us, all right, this little pocket of kiddos, these 2 or 3 on the struggle bus, I need to do these things with them. These students really, really have it. I'm so thankful that they're able to understand that skill. Now I'm going to move them to this. And these students really need something much higher than what I've given them. Or the whole class needs the same thing. You're all going to be different. And both of your videos are going to be different. They're not going to be the same. But just remember, you are going to make a claim that they're meeting the goals or that they're not meeting the goals, and you've got to provide evidence. Think like a lawyer on your side of the courtroom, defending this up against a judge who's your assessor on this particular bullet point, because it tells you must cite evidence. And you should find lots of evidence. If you planned your video very well, you're going to find it. Now, if you want any more support from me, you want to be a part of my orbit and go on this journey with me through C3, have a great course that helps you break this down. It's over at TraceyBryantStuckey.com. I'd love for you to come along with us or go through the initial challenge, which kind of takes you through a bird's eye view of what the National Board Assessor wants from you. And that's free. We all love free. It's amazing. All right, have fun. I'll see you in the next video.